welcome to another video, and today I'm finally putting out my top 10 favorite games of 2019 list. In previous years past, I've done separate videos for each one. This year I just wanted to kind of fire everything off into one video. I think it's easier, and I think you guys will have a better time watching one complete video than 10 separate ones. I'm going to start with two runner-ups in this category before I get to my top 10. My runner-up games this year are going to be Mario Maker 2 for the Switch, which I thought was good, but I didn't play enough of it as I wanted to, and I just never got around to playing more of it than I had time to. And my other runner-up is going to be Mortal Kombat 11. I had a blast playing Mortal Kombat 11. I think they did some really fantastic stuff with the story of that game. These are two games that just couldn't quite make it onto my top 10 list, so I just wanted to briefly mention them. So, number 10 on my list is actually a PC exclusive game, and that is a game called Dusk. So, Dusk is a first-person shooter in the vein of a Doom or a Quake, but it was made modernly, so today, but it has the feel of an old Doom or a Quake game. So it looks like a game from back in the early to mid-90s. It's fantastic, it's very atmospheric, it has an excellent soundtrack. It definitely has a very creepy vibe to it, very Doom-like, and I had a blast playing through this game. It's one of my favorite games of the year, and I highly urge you to play it. And the best part about it is you don't need a really demanding computer to play this game, because it plays like a game from 25 years ago. So, number 10 on my list, Dusk.
We shall triumph!
That's all for that one.
It was an honor.
Number 9 on my list is going to be a game that I feel a lot of people overlooked, and it was a Microsoft exclusive game, and that is Operencia, The Stolen Sun. I had a blast playing this game. It's an old school dungeon crawler, so it has like the grids. It's kind of like if you've ever played a Etrian Odyssey game for the 3DS. It's one of those type of games, but made on a moderately higher budget. It runs great on the Xbox One X. It runs great on PC, so if you have Game Pass for PC and Xbox, you can play it on both. It's cross-play and cross-platform, so your save syncs between each sides. It's a pretty lengthy game. It's like 16 to 20 hours long. There's a lot of interesting story aspects to it, a lot of interesting characters, fantastic and gorgeous environments. Really enjoyed this game. It's definitely a hidden gem of 2019 and one of the best. That's my number 9 pick on my list. Number 8 on my list is going to be Zelda Link's Awakening for the Switch, the remake. Fantastic remake of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. One of the best handheld Zelda games ever made. One of the best Zelda games ever made. It has a gorgeous, cartoonish, kind of almost claymation animation style to it. The only negative thing I'll say about it is it had some frame rate issues. I think those have since been patched. Otherwise it runs pretty good. It just looks fantastic, and it's the most faithful remake of this type of game in quite some time. There's one other remake on this list that we'll get to, but Zelda, that's my number 8 on my list. Number 7 on my list is going to be another Switch game, and this is Luigi's Mansion 3. So I'm a humongous fan of Luigi's Mansion, the original for GameCube. I played a little bit of Dark Moon, never finished that game. Been looking forward to another Luigi's Mansion at some point. It was a massive surprise when they announced it. I didn't think it was something I'd ever see. It's made on such a higher budget than any of the other Luigi's Mansion games. It runs fantastic. It's a great game that you can play portably or also docked with the dock to the TV for the Switch. It's a pretty, I'd say it's about the length you would expect. It also has a fairly decent cooperative minigame mode that I thought was a lot of fun. So that game itself is going to be number 7 on my list.
Security protocols without proper authorization is a fireable offense. Priming weapons.
Bunker assessment. Overdue for cleaning. Initiating emergency deep clean protocol authorization code Apastron 5.
Checking internal calendar. Last cleaning occurred 3,600. Be advised. Mantisaur threat level is petrifying purple berry.
Number 6 on my list is going to be The Outer Worlds. The Outer Worlds is made by Obsidian, the developers of Fallout New Vegas, and some of their famous old school JRPGs. They famously made Knights of the Old Republic 2. Fantastic game. They literally made a modern Fallout game that outshines modern Fallout. It's incredibly well written, incredibly funny, controls great. It's a great Xbox One X game. It's also a great PC game. I did not play it on the PS4, so I can't speak to the quality there, but I heard good things there as well. Tremendous story, tremendous atmosphere overall. They did a really good job of world building with this game. It's not long. I think a lot of people expect it to be like an 80, 90, 100 hour, RPG game, kind of like a Fallout. It's not. It took me about 30 hours to get through, but I think that 30 hours was generally more enjoyable than all of Fallout 4 for me, which is saying a lot because I really enjoyed Fallout 4. So that's number 6 on my list.
Before you came along, all I cared about was a tight hand on a stiff heater. That's a game term.
I know what it is.
Cal, life's not a game.
So now we get into the top 5. These are my top 5 games now of 2019. And number 5 here is going to be Jedi Fallen Order. So Respawn Entertainment, the makers of Titanfall, the makers of Apex Legends, they made the best Star Wars game that has come out since the Jedi Knight games, in my opinion. I was not a fan of the Force Unleashed games. And I did enjoy the Knights of the Old Republic games, but for me, Jedi Knight, all of those Jedi Knight games were just fantastic. And I think the thing that's so impressive about Jedi Fallen Order is how it blends Dark Souls style gameplay with like Tomb Raider and Uncharted exploration and platforming. And it just kind of melds them together into this game that I wasn't expecting to enjoy as much as I did. But the other thing that's fantastic about this game is I think between it and The Mandalorian, which is currently streaming on Disney+, these are two entities that have told better and more enjoyable original Star Wars stories than any of these recent movies. Fantastic capture work, fantastic acting in this game all around. I did a video review on the channel, so I urge you to go see it, but number 5 on my list is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Bloodstained.
Number 4 on my list is actually down further on the list than I originally planned, and that is Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. It finally came out. It was one of my most anticipated games for like the last 3 years since it got announced. This is your spiritual successor to Castlevania Symphony of the Night, made by the same person. Mostly, it's a fantastic game. It had some technical issues that have mostly been patched, except the Switch version is still, unfortunately, a disaster. I bought the game on every platform. I've played through it on PS4. I played a very good chunk of it on the Xbox. I tried to play this Switch version, but it just doesn't work well. And I've even played a little bit of it on the PC. I like the story of the game a lot, but I think just the best part about it is not only is it one of the very first Kickstarter games that actually came out and delivered what it promised in a very exceptional way, but it also just is a fantastic Castlevania game. And since we're probably never going to get another Castlevania game like this, this is an incredible alternative. Hopefully they make a Bloodstained 2, but Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, I loved every minute of it. It's a fantastic game, one of the best games of the year.
Hello? Anybody there? Something's not right.
Stop moving.
Officer, you need help?
Stay back, sir. I got this.
Number 3 on my list is Resident Evil 2 Remake. Yes, another remake is on my list. Resident Evil 2 Remake was announced a couple years ago, and then, you know, I've kind of complained about it on the channel for a long time, like, hey, when is this game ever coming out? And then it finally showed back up at E3 last year. It blew everyone out of the water. It finally came out. It was one of the first big games out in 2019, but it still stuck with me. It is an incredible remake on the same level as the remake of the original Resident Evil. It's made with the new Re-engine, but it's a fantastic, incredible game. Resident Evil 2, obviously one of the most beloved of that franchise. I cannot wait to, you know, play this recently announced Resident Evil 3 remake. But Resident Evil 2, one of the best games of the year. I don't have much more to say about it. You guys can go watch my video review of it. But that's number 3 on my list. Number 2 on my list is going to be Death Stranding. So I recently just put out my review of Death Stranding. I had a fantastic time with it. I toyed with it being my number 1 because I did really enjoy a lot of it. However, there's one game in particular that is my game of the year that I kind of decided after I played it that that game was going to be my game of the year, and nothing has topped it since I played it. Death Stranding came really, really close with a lot of its storytelling, especially the incredible ending of that game, I think. It's a fantastic game. It's a different kind of game, and it's a game that's also not for everybody. There's going to be people out there that just don't like this game, and that's fine. It's not a game for everybody. But I had a fantastic time with it. I really got into not only delivering packages in the game, but also creating and building these different structures and helping other people out online. So it's a pretty lengthy game as well, but it's a fantastic story, fantastic acting from all the actors involved. You have Norman Reedus, you have Mads Mikkelsen, Troy Baker. Just it's a fantastic game. I can't stress enough how good it is. I'm glad to see Kojima unshackled from Konami and making his own games now. And if this is any indication of what his original thoughts and ideas are that he could form into a game without being shackled by a company, I can't even imagine what he's going to make next. So Death Stranding, number 2 on my list.
Something's coming. This threat. An attack. Duty as director. Keep the Bureau safe.
Did you hear that? It's the dead man. Right after the pyramid spoke to me, and it was just noise, and I understood every word. And this gun's alive. You know what? I'm happy. Happy to be here.
And number one, obviously, should come as no surprise. It is the best game that I played in 2019. I do also think it is one of the best games of this console generation and one of the best games of the decade, and that is Control. So Control is just a fantastic experience front to back. It's a gigantic love letter to fans of Twin Peaks and fans of the X-Files. It tells a fantastic story that's really weird, really out there. It has incredible controls, no pun intended. I love this game from beginning to end. It's a game that sucked me in for an entire month. One of the only games I 100% in 2019 was Control. It's a game I want to play again. I'm looking at different platforms to maybe play that game again, like maybe PC right now once it finally comes to Steam. So I can't say enough good things about Control. I love this game to death. One of the best games of 2019. I can't urge you enough. If there's one game you haven't played this year and you look at anything on this list that I've talked about here, Control. Again, I'll say it again, Control. Go out, buy this game, support Remedy. I can't wait for the DLC stuff that they're going to do with this game. It's just, what an incredible experience. This was a year where there was a lot of kind of downtime for video games. Obviously, a lot of people are delaying things for 2020 fall because of the new systems and stuff that are coming out. And I think that two of the best games of this console generation in Death Stranding and Control came out this year. How incredible is that? So, 2019 Marvel Gallery's Game of the Year, my pick is Control. Can't stress enough how great this game is. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed my video content for 2019. As always, I take a break at this time of the year, and I spend time with my girlfriend, with my family, and whatnot, and then I return usually the end of January, beginning of February. If you guys want to know more information about that, I'll be semi-active on Twitter and on the Facebook page for Marvel Gallery. But this is the last video of 2019. I'm not making a thank you video because I'm putting my thank you in right here. So thank you for supporting my channel in 2019. I know content was a little bit lighter than in previous years, especially with my job. Behind the scenes schedules changing and stuff. Some equipment issues behind the scenes as well. Thanks for sticking with the channel. Thanks for supporting my content and, this crazy idea of me just making videos about the things that I enjoy to talk about, which is games and movies. So, anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember, as always, to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you in 2020.